Hi guys, Richard here for another Haltech workshop feature. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Melbourne and we're at Dyno-mite Performance, home of Australia's fastest Barra, to say g'day to Dion. G'day mate, how are you?
Good yourself?
Yeah, good.
That's good.
Well mate, thanks for having us here at Dyno-mite. Straight off the bat, I can see Fords everywhere, and obviously you're known as the home of Australia's fastest Barra, so I'm guessing that's primarily what you do, the Ford Barra?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Always been a Ford guy?
Yes.
How? Tell me about it. Tell me the story.
Dad was a Ford man. I remember back when I was probably about 4 or 5, he had an XB GT and it's rubbed off ever since.
And you've just always been into Ford since then?
Yep.
And why specifically the Barra engine? Why is that your specialty?
I used to be a V8 man, obviously Ford V8 man, and one of my mates brought a XR6 Turbo Ute and we started having to play with it and realised that the power you could make from it was unreal, and ended up selling I had a BA GT and went and bought a XR6 Turbo Ute, and that's it, never turned back.
And you realised the potential of the Barra engine and went with it from there.
Yep.
So what sort of services do you offer your customers here? I can see you've got the dyno cell and the engine room. What other kind of stuff do you do?
Yep. Everything from your basic servicing, pretty much on any model, but obviously, as you see, it's mainly Fords, to mild upgrades, all sorts of repairs, then to modifications, engine building.
Yeah, you've got the fab room and you can go right up to full engine builds and dyno
conversions. We do conversions, but you've got a couple of cars at the moment we're doing.
Yeah, so Barra conversions.
Yeah, Barra conversions,
cool. With your Barra conversions, is it mostly into other early model Falcons, or do you ever get to see anything weird or wonderful?
The other weirdest one we've probably done is in an Instant Patrol.
Okay.
So it's getting pretty popular now.
Yep.
One of the boys here is actually doing his own as well. Otherwise, it's been Cortinas, ELs, EBs, that sort of stuff. NXF.
I can see you've got an LTD with a Barra in it at
right.
the moment.
We didn't convert that ourselves, the customer did, but we do the tuning and everything for him,
Yeah, awesome. Now, the sign out the front says home of the world's fastest Barra. That's actually your Factory Xtreme drag car that Scott had a chat with you about. I believe that's also the world's fastest Ford 6-cylinder car.
That's correct, yes.
And that's not the only record breaker here. I believe this one is also a bit of a record breaker as well.
Yes, that's right, and it really set the internet on fire.
Okay, what about this car set the internet on fire?
Yep, well, the first pass that she did in the car went 887, 156.
So that would make it Australia's fastest street-driven Falcon?
That's correct.
Wow, hang on, you said she.
That's correct.
That's not you?
No.
No, so whose car is this?
My partner Maria's car.
Cool, so she actually drove the record pass?
That's correct, yep.
And she's into cars and drag racing as well? Like, is that how you met, or?
Yes, so this is her first car, and one day she saw me drive my red Ute down the road with 1300 XR6 Turbo on the back. She thought she'd ring it and see what the go was, and once she come in,
And it all went from there?
Pretty much all went from there, and when she was about 19, 20, we did some mods to it, and it ended up running like 10.7, and I'm not sure if I should say this on the camera, but she lost her licence for over 2 years for speeding. And so then the build started from there. We thought, well, what do you want to do? She says, I want to have the fastest street XR6 Turbo, and so we went ahead and she saved up all the money and we put it together, and here it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what goes into Australia's fastest street XR6? What makes it happen?
Definitely, obviously, plenty of time, effort and money. But this is we'll start with the engine, is one of our de-stroked engines. We find that taking some stroke out of them is better for the long engine, and we want to rev these harder. So at the moment, we spin it to 9,000.
So what sort of capacity does that make it then? 3.5 litre? Or?
No, it's about 3.78.
3.78, okay.
Yeah. So it's got one of our billet cranks in it, obviously good rods, pistons, one of our CNC ported cylinder heads, our own solid cams and vernier gears.
Of course, a decent sized turbo is essential.
Definitely. It's a 94 mil GDX, Garrett turbo. Obviously, custom exhaust manifold. We still use an FG intake manifold. We modify it with a twin throttle body.
I noticed you've got the stock ECU over there. Is it reflashed?
We run the factory computer to run all the ICC, all the dash, ABS, aircon, all those items, and we have an Elite 2500 running the engine management.
Of course, when you built this, we didn't have the Barra plug-in that we have now. So
that's correct.
That's probably something you're looking forward to using.
Yes, we would like to put this on one of these on this at some stage. So, but at the moment, the 2500 and an M&W ignition system running the engine.
And moving from the engine backwards through standard box, or?
No, we put a power glide in it.
Okay.
So, full house, strong, 2,000 horsepower.
No worries. And diff onwards. It's got big rubber at the back.
Yes, so it's got a 10.5-inch tyre on it. Actually runs a 10-inch rim under the guard. We did a lot of rear-end modification for it. Still runs IRS, so the factory diff centre. Runs the aftermarket 1,400 horsepower drive shafts. It's got a carbon fibre tail shaft. We made a fuel cell, but we put in the original spot, so it didn't put in the boot. Try to make it as streetable as possible, but it has to have things like roll cage, parachute, battery isolator, and those other.
When you're going that fast, it's a requirement. Yeah.
Requirement for drag racing.
And that was your goal with this car, to run into the 8s?
No, the goal is actually to be the first 7-second XR6 Turbo street car.
Wow, okay, so this is quite a serious build.
Yes, quite a serious.
And is that what you do most of, serious builds, or do you go for the milder stuff as well?
Yeah, no, we do a lot of this, but then also there's milder cars like that one there. Bit of a story to that one is a customer with one leg, so the accelerator's on the left-hand side.
Okay, does it explain the Hoppy number plate?
That's the Rego, yes. So that actually has my engine from my Ute, my red Ute back 15 years ago, which is still going, and that car's actually ran like a 1022.
So that's a 15-year-old motor?
Correct.
Yeah, wow.
Yep.
And the one behind it is obviously more serious?
Yes, that's in the build at the moment. That's actually a Rob from Sydney, and it's got like a 98mm precision turbo. So we try something quite a radical.
You know it's a big turbo when it looks big against a Barra.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, true.
So you really are a one-stop shop from your street car servicing right the way up to a full-on drag car.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, mate, thanks so much for having us here at Dyno-mite.
No problem at all.
Showing us all of the cool XR6s and Barras and things.
Yep.
Guys, that's another Haltech workshop tour. If you've got a cool workshop and you're doing some cool stuff with Haltech, don't forget we'd love to come and see you. Send us an email or contact us through the website. My name is Richard, and I'll see you next time.